Good afternoon or good evening if you're in the USA. I am Bruce, aka the guy in the blue shirt, as I'm known on LinkedIn, and my method is simpler, faster, better. And I help companies and individuals clean up their processes. And I also sponsor blue shirts. So Tom Baker,
I got
look
a
at
space
him.
for your logo right over here on the other
Yeah.
side here. Yeah.
Well,
We'll put your logo.
I'm still savoring my beautiful time I spent with the Andretti teams, both in Portland and Laguna Seca. So
Nice.
I figured I should give them a little shout out because they were so courteous and so gracious in letting me spend a lot of time behind the scenes with them. So that was fun. Well, we'll come back to that anyway. So Tom, tell us a little bit about Steering Wheel Nation for those people that may not be aware, and also tell us a little bit about what makes your type of business edge with up and coming, youthful, fast racing drivers.
So, yeah, I'd be happy to. So, Steering Wheel Nation basically was a brand that I created. Number one, is a founder brand. So, it's basically my business and my work and my experience and the knowledge I've gained. And of course, others are involved with me, but it really was kind of a brand that was created as an opportunity for me to take both halves of my whole, so to speak, and put them under one umbrella. And what that means is I have, as you mentioned, I have a half dozen younger racers up and coming that are looking to get to the top in various disciplines, not just NASCAR. But so that's part of it that we manage and promote. And then the other part of it is we're a content producing media. So we do 4 radio shows / podcasts. I'm involved with a group out of the area here in the Carolinas called Stock Car Classics. It's a group of men who have replicas or restorations of old cup cars that go to different tracks and do exhibition racing and that sort of thing. So, working with the World Karting Association and some other go-kart entities, calling races, and we've got a magazine coming out, quarterly print digital magazine coming out in November as well. So it's basically, it lets the drivers basically be backed by the media that can activate the sponsor campaigns that we create for them. But it also, on the media side, it gives us content because we have the drivers. It gives us content to talk about no matter what's going on in the industry. We tell our driver stories. So it's a story-driven brand, a lot of regional activity, a lot of national activity, a little bit of global activity with Finn Robinson over in the UK that we got, who's trying to come over here and race NASCAR. So yeah, opportunities abound here, and it's an exciting business to be in.
Yeah, it is. And actually, so what's the name of the magazine? Do you have a name for it yet?
Yeah, we got real creative with this. We're calling it Steering Wheel Nation Magazine.
Hey, you gotta stay loyal to your brand. If it works,
everything is Steering Wheel Nation at this point, and or produced by Steering Wheel Nation. Obviously, the shows have different names, but everything is Steering Wheel Nation, and we're really excited about that. It's basically, the tagline for us is cars, motorsports, community. We're all about cars, we're all about motorsports, and we're building a community, and we're focusing that community on the grassroots levels of the sport that a lot of the other media don't cover, but they have huge amounts of participation and businesses that cater to them. So we're excited about what we're building, and we hope that other people will be excited about it too.
Yeah, it's funny because as you know, I've been on a 22-day road tour, and part of that is all around community and also connection and community that will lead to 2023 collaboration. But I want to share a funny little story because you mentioned karting. So I got to actually spend a little bit of time with Mario Andretti's grandson. He's 9 years old.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And he's a little shy, but he's petite like Mario.
Well, he's 9.
Yeah. Well, but what was funny is I said to him, so what do you like about the go-kart? And he said, it's fast.
Well, that's what you get out of a 9-year-old. Yeah.
Right. And then I said, well,
yeah.
what else do you like about the go-kart, or what else do you want the go-kart to do? He said, I want it to go faster. And I said to Mario, he's a typical Andretti. And Mario rolled his eyes and he said, yep, he is.
Well, but see,
So,
when you're 9, you want everything to be simpler, faster, and better.
you do. Yeah. But
It's
it was
that simple. Yeah.
yeah, I know. He was kind of cute, and it was great to get Mario's reaction, because obviously, you can't plan for those things, and as you know, kids are pretty unpredictable, and even the young people that you help, they're pretty unpredictable with what they come up with sometimes. So
yeah, we're lucky that way. We've got a half a dozen drivers, all with amazing personalities. They're a lot of fun. They're very humble. And, they're in this for all the right reasons. They want to succeed at it and make a living from it, but they want to get back too. And they're really in it just to find a platform to help others to have a good time and enjoy it. So, and make a difference in their communities, which is great.
Right. Well, again, great segue talking about giving back. I was honored to be I got approved to be a volunteer at the Nashville IndyCar race, and
oh wow!
So yeah, it was something I'd thought about doing, and the application process is pretty rigid because they do all sorts of.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
But what was really cool is I got paired with a lady called Jen, and Jen was basically my supervisor. I was a volunteer, and I was also a rookie volunteer, but. She basically worked for the sporting association that is run out of the Tennessee Titans Stadium, because part of the street circuit in Nashville goes past the Tennessee Titans Stadium. So that was actually my first entree into volunteerism. So again, I know you're all up with this. If people want to get involved behind the scenes, volunteering is the way to go, because
for sure
you'll get access to all sorts of stuff. And then that was actually my first opportunity to meet Mario and talk with him, and Mario was very, very gracious. And I'm not name dropping. I'm the purpose of why I'm saying this is that, as you know, and as I know, but others may not know, the racing car community, irrespective of the level or the type of racing, is so community and all inclusive. I mean, it's just an amazing feeling. And the fact that, I said to Mario, hey, can I do some pictures? He said, sure. And, Mario understands what it's all about. It's all about that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
The community, the family, and really taking care of safety. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And everyone is super conscious and involved in that collaboration all the way from the top to the bottom. So it was, it was a lucky moment, and I savored it. And then the last piece of that funny thing, when I saw him at Laguna Seca, he said to me, are you following me around? And I said, kind of.
Yes, I am actually.
Yeah, but he was, he's so gracious. I mean, the guy meets thousands and thousands of people, and he remembered me, which was kind of cool. So
yeah, he's an icon, and he and Richard Petty come to mind, and John Force is three drivers. Obviously, Mario and Richard don't race anymore. John doesn't know enough to quit, and we hope he doesn't figure all that out for about 5 more years, because we just love him. But they understand the relationship to the fan, and that it's all about it's all about winning fans, and they give far more than they take at this point from the sport, and they all still just love being at the track. And I think that again, 3 different disciplines of the sport, IndyCar, although Mario won a Daytona 500, but IndyCar, NASCAR, and NHRA drag racing, but all with the same passion and the same understanding that it's a sport about fans. And I just don't think you see a lot of athletes in other sports that have that same sense of, it's about them first. It isn't about me and my huge salary. It's, and if the fans don't show up, I don't have my sport. So I love that about motorsports in general, but especially about some of the icons who, let's be real, I mean, at this point, they all could be sitting home, on the back porch with a glass of lemonade or iced tea, enjoying life, and yet they're still at the tracks working as hard to make the fans enjoy it or help the fans enjoy it as they ever have,
Right.
And that's beautiful.
Mario's amazing. He's either 82 or 83. He just repassed his physical to drive the two-car Indy racing.
The two-seater,
the two-seater. So he gives it all it, he gives it all he's got, and that passion shows through. And it's just like you said, it's amazing, the giving back attitude that these top names that have been in the sport, in his case, 7 decades. Right?
Well, and he's still just as excited about putting the suit on. I think he'd go back and race if they allowed him to do it. I think he'd actually get back behind the wheel and race it. I think he could still beat half the field, honestly, at least. But but he loves the two-seater. It's the perfect situation for him because, again, interact with the fans, show him a good time, and still go out the track and get his get his yayas on, as you might say, right? And do his thing, at speed. So
yeah, sure. Well, and we were talking offline. The other thing I learned, there's a new program that the Arrow McLaren SP team are putting together, which is to help a nonprofit encourage, in particular, females to get engaged and involved, and particularly behind the scenes at least in IndyCar. And as I mentioned to you, I'm meeting the executive director of that nonprofit mission-based program tomorrow here. And Vicky's just a wonderful lady, but I got introduced to her first male and first female intern at Laguna Seca, and talk about sharp, really aware, hardworking, 16, 17-year-old people. Well, the lady's a little older, but the guy, Miguel, is just about 18. And it was phenomenal to see their work effort and to see, so again, if people are watching this and they want to get some engagement, if they have a daughter or a niece or an aunt, that has a young up-and-coming lady that wants to figure out how to get engaged with particularly IndyCar, then I can point them in the right direction through Vicky. So.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a number of fine lady female racers over the years in IndyCar, starting with Janet Guthrie all those years ago. I still think Janet is absolutely the finest of them all, and she was serious. She probably made a little bit more of an impression in NASCAR, but she did finish 10th, I think, in an Indy 500 at one point, and and she did the double. Or did she ran both Indy and NASCAR long before but I mean, ladies like Lynn St. James, Pippa Mann, they between NASCAR and IndyCar, and then of course everybody knows about Danica because she's probably the most recent. But there were a number of drivers before her that really set the stage for Danica to come in and be accepted and be successful. Right. And a lot of those ladies were doing it in far less equipment, less caliber equipment, back in the days when you had to be a driver to hustle the cars. And so, and I see them all the time at the local level. There's a young lady here. She's in Toyota's development program named Isabella Robusto. She just won her second late model race at Hickory Motor Speedway, and Katie Hedinger's in Chevy's development program, and I've been watching Katie since she was about 12 or 13, and she's won a number of late model races at Hickory, and some of these young ladies are really skilled racers. They're very fast. They take it very seriously. There's hope. And I'm happy to see programs like Vicky's that are getting behind, and we need more programs to get behind not just young ladies, but young drivers in general to help them have the opportunity. And that's even with our guys, most of our guys are over 20, but they're still not, everybody talks about family money. None of our guys have that to go all the way to the top. And the youngest one we've got is 12, and he can pitch a product better than I can. So, he's already, and he just started his own podcast. And it's phenomenal. And the kids in karting, he's doing he's trying to, so we're working on a plan, a business plan, 5-year plan to try and get him up. He wants to go IndyCar. We need more people to get behind these young drivers. The value is there, for a company, the value is there. The numbers are there. We just need them to recognize that you can take one of these young, whether it's male or female, you can take one of these young racers and you brand them for the long term with your company, and you create the kind of association that Richard Petty's had with STP, or more Denny Hamlin in modern NASCAR with FedEx, or now you've got a gentleman in Canada named Gary Elliott who next year will be 50 years with Quaker State, 50 straight years, and he's still racing at 76. Incredible. He just got elected to the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame. It's amazing, So there's some great opportunities out there.
Yeah, final shout out actually to an active IndyCar, Simona Di Silvestro with best.
There's another one.
Yeah. She did, I think, 5 or 6 races this season. And anyway, just want to say hi to Juliet. Juliet's from the UK, and I met Juliet back in May. So we should make sure that Juliet meets or gets introduced to Finn.
There we go.
Yeah, Juliet's in the kind of central London area, and she has a couple of very active kids involved with sports. So she might enjoy actually meeting Finn. So what's Finn's last name? Remind me again.
It's Robinson, Finn Robinson.
Robinson. Okay,
he's on here on LinkedIn. So if she's on LinkedIn, then she can find him. Or of course, Facebook or Instagram. He's also on there, Finn Robinson. And Finn Robinson, I think it's Motorsports. Finn is awesome. We've got a good mix of drivers, dirt, sports car, road course, and of course, oval. We got John Holloman that we're looking to get to the truck series. He just won his 6th most popular driver award at Bowman Gray Stadium this year. And the last 2 he's won have been in the Track's Top division, which is a NASCAR Tour modified type cars, stadium modifieds they call them, and he did get a feature win this year again, and had a pretty good season. So we've got it's just fun to see the younger drivers come up through the ranks, and it's great to be able to help them and teach them about media and marketing and entrepreneurism, and all of our guys are coached, and there's programs behind each of them to take them where they need to go. We just need we just need to align ourselves with the right companies who can benefit from what we offer, which is really millions of potential, new customers worldwide between the media we have and then all of the stuff that the drivers are doing. So,
yeah, it's amazing. And thanks, Juliet, for your active comments. And yes, she loves this.
Yes.
And so I will introduce Juliet to Finn, or she can find him. So it's Finn Robinson. He does have a LinkedIn profile, and he has his own website, and he's a very gifted young man, along with a lot of the other people that are behind the scenes. I mean, I would say one of my big aha moments following Portland and then to Laguna Seca, and I spent a lot of time behind the scenes in the Andretti Autosports space, and that was through Raquel Boris introduced me to the right person. His name's Alex.
Okay.
Not Rossi. I did meet Rossi in the end. I managed to say hi. Rossi doesn't say very much, and he's very quiet and very focused.
He is. Yeah, he's very reserved, but
he's in the zone.
He can will a car. That's for sure.
Oh, super fast. Yeah, super. Yeah, Finn Robinson. That's it, Juliet. That's it.
Yes. So, hey, I see a question in here. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. No, I was going to say, I saw a question that Juliet asked that I thought is worth discussing a little bit.
Yeah.
She asked us, what does racing teach us about life, personal development, and human excellence and growth? And that's a great question. And here's the thing, because racing is not an automatic for these, especially for these younger drivers. In other words, if you're a baseball player and you're 13 and you can throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, you're going somewhere, okay? And you're going to get picked and you're going to play. Motorsports doesn't work that way. So there's a lot in this. For example, just again, thinking about my guys and other programs that I'm associated with who teach the same things, it's entrepreneurism. It's about leadership. It's about public speaking. It's about, it's about relationship building. It's about how to sell yourself to a team owner, to a sponsor, to the media, to the fans. It's about building a brand. There's so much about this, and because it is a lifestyle sport, and it's also, let's face it, it's still very dangerous. It's much safer than it used to be, but it's still, these young people are able to, by being involved in the sport, they're able to meet people from all over the world, in some cases, but it teaches them to learn to be business focused and brand focused and aware of their behavior and their perception and their social medias. And, and it's just, it's a real opportunity. And you see these young guys or girls, they get to, say, the cup level in NASCAR or IndyCar, and they realize the size of the stage that they're on and all this media attention. It teaches you how to handle all of that. And so if you then stop racing, if you don't make it to the top, all those skills you can take into a job interview or in any life situation that you have, and you're going to be a leg up because you're learning how to be successful,
Yeah. Well, the insight I would add to that, and again, because I was blessed to be behind the scenes for both Portland and Laguna Seca, I would say that my observation is there's a lot of what I would call ambassadorship. And it's ambassadorship not only for the people that sponsor the cars, but it's ambassadorship for the community that they're holding the events in. It's definitely ambassadorship for the importance of the fans, not only to be loyal and passionate, but also for everybody to be safe. And again, we lose track sometimes of how dangerous it can be for not only the driver, but all the support teams and also the fans as well. So it's unbelievable to see the amount of cohesive logistics. I mean, I was chatting to the guy in Andretti Autosports that does all of the moving of all of the stuff and setting all of the stuff up. I mean, this guy is a young, passionate, he's almost like superhuman because he's got all these moving parts, literally, and at the end of the day, he's got to keep not only the team safe, the equipment safe, the fans safe, and then when it all comes together on race day, he's got to keep the environment, particularly around the hospitality areas, he's got to keep it safe, clean, and running like a well-oiled machine. The guy is amazing. I mean, I was watching him, and he's super quiet. He just does his thing.
Everybody
amazing.
Goes into a zone,
It
is. It's a team sport, and it really teaches teamwork and the importance of working with different personalities and types of people and how to get along in those situations. And it's very high energy, high pressure, emotions are running high. I mean, I think, for a young driver or a young crew chief or anybody that's involved, even for me as media, I started just out of about 3 years out of high school. And again, a lot of the same lessons, even from the media side of it. And I've worked on pit crews. I raced a little bit, but I don't really, that was never going to be my thing. It was just go-karts, and it was something fun I did because the opportunity was there and I enjoyed it. But, you learn all those things. And more importantly, because it's so family oriented, it's the only sport where the entire family can be involved. These 6 and 7 year olds racing quarter midgets and karts and like that, legends cars, that mom is involved taking lap times and doing all that, and dad's working on the car, and maybe big brother's helping or whatever, but everybody's at the track and involved, and that's something you just don't see in other sports. And the friendships that develop are lifelong friendships. Most of my best friends are motorsports friends that I met, you know, and so it definitely is it's sure it's a sport. And yes, they're athletes, but it's a lifestyle. And you can't, and I always tell people too, you know, people that see it on TV, that it's not, you need to go to a track. It's a very experiential sport. You know, the sight, the sound, the smell, you know, the energy that's being fed, you know, at the track, the cars zooming by when you're sitting in the grandstand or in the pits watching. It's a whole different experience in person than it is on television.
Right. So I have a great little story that might encapsulate all of that. So I'm at turn 3 at Laguna Seca, which is adjacent to where Andretti had their operation set up. And I was, again, blessed to be behind the scenes there. And I was watching this press guy who, you know, they have a little cutout in the fence, you know, where they don't have to try and take pictures through the wire fence, you know, so they get a clear shot. Yeah, the little hidey hole, you know, the little peekaboo place. And I was watching this guy, and it was a hot day. So, he, you know, he was a more mature gentleman. So I got chatting with him, and I gave him some water because he was like sweating like crazy. And, you know, I just said to him, well, how long have you been doing this? And he said, I can't remember when I wasn't doing it. I mean, he's been a photographer in the hidey hole and he's been a photographer at that circuit along with other IndyCar circuits for 15 years. It's like, oh my goodness, amazing. So anyway, the whole point about that is he could have ignored me, right? It's like I'm a nobody to him, and we were just chit chatting, and he saw that I was trying to take some videotape, and he said, or video on my phone. He said, "Here, let me do." And he took my phone and he took it to the hidey hole. So, you know, I got some behind the scenes video footage that nobody else could have gotten, because
that's great.
And it's back to that, you know, what do you get out of it? It is the community. It's building collegiate relationships. It's about building collaboration, not competition, right? The guy could have ignored me because, you know, if he had a competitive mindset, he might have thought, well, you know, that guy could take the video footage and use it along with my professional footage because the iPhone 13 Pro is so good at taking video. So, but that was a great story to me that, you know, I was a little kind to him because I gave him some water, and he was over generous back to me where I got some video footage that nobody else probably got that day. So
sure. Yeah, that's how it is. And it's very, like, it is very much, it's a family, it's a community, you know, and again, the friends that you meet along the way. And that's why, from a marketing standpoint for a company who's getting involved, the access between the driver and the fan is way beyond any other sport. And, you know, it's just an opportunity to really get involved with a sport that's sponsor driven, so they take good care of the sponsors that support it. You know, the fans are very loyal, you know, and there's just tons of opportunity, even at the lower levels, to get millions of views, depending on, you know, where you're going and what you're, for a fraction of the cost of what you would do, for example, in NASCAR or IndyCar. You don't have to take your company to the top levels of the sport and spend, you know, $10 million to get, you can get millions of views if, you know, for the right company and the right fit. You know, there are ways to get millions and millions of views and bits of exposure, just even in one event at some of the short track events. So, you know, we try to offer all of those.
Yeah, it's fascinating how it works. Oh, look at that. Brandon Hanks, his ears must have been burning.
No, we can't talk about him anymore. He's here.
No, we can't. Hey, Brandon, we were giving you kudos offline, man. So good job on what you achieved this season. So, yeah, splendid job. We know it was a late start for you and you had some challenges, but awesome stuff. And I was telling Tom that you and I have been engaging a little bit more offline, which was pretty cool to see. So kudos to you, Brandon. You're on the right track, my man. So
Yeah, it's well, and for those watching in the chat, Brandon Hanks is one of my drivers. He's a 410 sprint car racer out of the Memphis, Tennessee area, and it's he and his dad and one other guy that go to World of Outlaws races and compete against teams that have got millions of dollars in funding. And Brandon qualified for the A main in the last World of Outlaws race that he attempted, and which is an amazing thing because it's very hard to qualify for one of those shows as a family-owned team. And a great story. He's very marketable, extremely personable, loves talking about racing, and will bust his butt for a company that will get behind him and give him an opportunity. And I've got, I'm fortunate enough and blessed enough to have half a dozen of those examples. But, for somebody who's really a company that maybe sort of do it yourself focused or want the blue collar market, Brandon's got a great opportunity. And again, speaks very well. You had him on one of your shows, and we're going to, it's great. It's a lot of fun to see drivers like Brandon that are working so hard and really overachieve with what they have against much bigger and more well-funded competition.
Yeah, well, if the opportunity comes up, you and I already talked about my meeting with the nonprofit for the younger behind the scenes Arrow McLaren that's going to happen next year. So if I get a chance, I'll mention Brandon's name to Vicky, and we'll make that introduction. She's not a prolific LinkedIn user yet, but I think she's going to come on and actually tell the story about how the nonprofit mission came about and the association with Arrow McLaren. So hoping we can do that sooner rather than later, but it depends on her schedule. She's actually also an active councilwoman for her borough here in California. So she's she's a busy young lady. So
that would keep you busy.
Oh yeah, but hey, it's back to that community, right?
That's right. Yeah.
She's now doing for Arrow McLaren what she's been doing for her own community. And, Julia asked the questions about what are the skills. So they're transferable skills that she's used from helping represent her community as a councilwoman and now, being an executive director for a nonprofit. They're similar transferable skills. So
100%.
100%. All right. So what's coming up in 2023? Obviously, good luck with the magazine. The end of this quarter, right? That's going to launch.
It launches. Yeah, you can subscribe right now at steeringwheelnation.com. There's a big giant subscription box at the top of the page. We're doing one issue this year. It's a quarterly print and digital. And what we're doing with this is, again, we're trying to build a community. We're going to feature some of the real amazing stories from across the sport, but a lot of, go-karts and legends cars and the Saturday night short track guys and girls that, bust their butt just to get to the track. So what we're trying to do is elevate the exposure of some of those types of racing. And again, introduce to companies the idea that you don't have to go to NASCAR or go to IndyCar to get an amazing response from motorsports. Right. There are many ways to do it at the introductory or lower levels, regional levels is what I mean to say. And it gives you, if you're a company, for example, that's global and is looking for a way into the US market to build an affinity at the regional level, we've got that. And, it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. So that's what we're doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's 5 issues, take you all the way through the end of next year for $29.95. And it's print and digital. We're going to throw some enhanced, they're going to throw some bonus stuff, audio and video into each digital edition. So really you're getting 10 because the digital you're going to want to read. It's not just going to be a mirror of the print. We're going to throw some other stuff in there. So.
Hey, that's amazing. Super value. And I know it's because you care and, you're very community collaboratively organized. So that's
trying to be. Thank you.
Well, that's why I love having you on the show. I've said to you before, and I've shared this with other people. People get asked to be guests on my show because of certain characteristics they have. And, that's just the way it is. I don't ask people that don't have the right characteristics.
Yeah. Exactly. And I appreciate that. I'm grateful for that. We're excited about the magazine. We're excited about where we're going. We've also got a platform that we're getting ready to partner with, just about ready to announce it, but not quite there yet. But it's a platform that's going to allow us to build a community and have some proprietary tools that motorsports does not have access to right now, all around an amazing app for your phone where, again, the opportunities for some really cool fan interaction stuff, gamification and all of that, that I think are hopefully going to help, again, provide motorsports in general with some of that. And so, again, just trying to find ways. I love your tag, simpler, faster, better. We're trying to find ways to reach the motorsports fans, simpler, faster, better, at, and especially help the lower levels of the sport, where there are still, again, some of these broadcasts of even those races, millions of views.
Right.
And you don't pay NASCAR prices. And I'm not marketing against NASCAR, by the way. I love NASCAR, but just saying there's opportunities for companies who may not have $10 million a year to get involved and really have an awesome time and get real results.
Right. Well, my simultaneous initiative along with yours is I'm also going to be experimenting with more of a virtual reality platform. So taking a big leap
We've
of
got
faith.
that too.
Yeah.
Augmented and virtual capability of this. So yeah, it's coming and it's already here in a lot of ways. So
it is.
we're just trying to use, basically I'm an old school guy trying to use new school technology. And what it boils down to, Bruce, is that I feel like social media has become so overcrowded. And I still believe that the best way to build your own community and really put on the best programs for your sponsors, you need social media, but you should have an owned community that you own and control, and then use your social media to pull fans over into that. And that's what we're trying to do. So the website's still critical. This platform is still critical. You rent social media and you own a website or you own a community platform. And that's really where I'm trying to be old school, but use the new technology the way I think it needs to be used. And to make sure that if I've got a fan that wants my stuff, I can get it directly to their phone or their inbox. Right. I don't have to depend on whether they happen to jump on Facebook within the hour. That's really what we're trying to do.
Well, we have similar pathways. In fact, I already got a name for my little internal community. It's going to be called the Rev Up Club. Nothing to.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, but the Rev Up Club will actually feature some behind the scenes stuff that most people don't get access or reach to. So it's kind of a little bit of my fun side of what I do, or the more. And as things go on, and again, if I can get signed up to be a volunteer for all 17 or 18 races next year with IndyCar, which is my goal, one of my big 2023 goals, then the Rev Up Club will become an even more important piece of that, which will give very affordable, very low cost access to behind the scenes stuff where, people don't have to travel. Like, I'm going to be traveling like a crazy Brit, to make it
like
happen.
An IndyCar obsessed Brit.
I am addicted. I have to admit.
With a blue shirt.
I'm addicted for sure. And I'm so addicted. My other little thing that I've experimented with is I do typically every Monday, a little 1 minute sound bite called Civic Chats. Cause I'm so addicted. I bought a blue Honda Civic. So, hoping that one day Honda might recognize that and, show me some loyalty in return. We'll see.
There you go.
Hey, but it's the give before you get, right? You gotta give a little before you can get anything back. And
that's right.
That's the whole community. So that's my deal. So we're following simultaneous and similar pathways, which I love. The fact that, both you and I are, we talked before, you and I are old analogs that have become digital, and that's what we got to do.
Yeah. That's the nicest old reference I've ever had. Old analog. I've been called old other things, but that may be the kindest one. So yeah, and it's really true. Yeah.
No, it's true. That's what, if you look at what we've done and what we've worked so hard at, we've converted our analog skills and transferred them to the digital platforms and adapted and adopted the best of both. And that, to me, that's what you have to do. And again, it's reinforced, you know, the last 22 days of following the IndyCar and meeting for the first time people that I've only met digitally, and I've invested the time to go see them and meet them in person. It's where it all happens. I mean, the magic happens in person. So yeah.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you can't replace the in-person or direct relationship building, and that's I agree 100%, and that's awesome. I'm really happy because I know how much of an IndyCar fan you are. I'm very happy for you, Bruce, that you got to do all that, and I hope that that works out for you to be able to travel the whole circuit next year, because that is a golden opportunity. I love IndyCar racing and just some great people on that in that discipline, you know, drivers, team owners, all of that. So
right. Yeah, and I offered, if that happens, I offered an opportunity for Brandon Hanks to come visit one of the circuits. So we'll see.
There you go.
My promise is still good. If of course he wants to go watch. Go ahead.
I was going to say, get the Tennessee Rebel to the IndyCar race. That's exactly what you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Huh?
The two of you should do a podcast from the IndyCar races. What should happen? That would be fun, just to hear Brandon's point of view as the race is going on. I want to hear him do commentary.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. And of course, in return, he's kindly offered for me to come hang out in his pit. I think he wants me to wrench a few things to help out. I'm not sure. We'll see. Anyway,
it's dirtier where he races, but a lot of fun.
It still smells, sounds. It's still got that addictive behavior. You know, it doesn't matter what type of racing. It's all the same for me. So
yes, sir.
All right. Well, hang for a minute. I'm actually gonna do a little outtake because I can never remember to tell people what I'm up to. So so just hang for a minute. Here we go.
You're frustrated that you have no time and you just hate it. You lost your mind. You're running around the kids and the spouse, and the business that was once your passion has got you burnt out. So, consult with Bruce, the guy in the blue shirt. He'll help you find the truth so that you can do you first. See, it's all about simpler, faster, better, so you can save massive amounts of time and money, instead of longing for the day where you can finally kick your feet up. Do yourself a favor. Call up Bruce. He'll tell you about process cleanup.
Here we go. So a little side note, I took Devin to a seasonal place in Portland called The Deck, and he didn't even know it was there. And it was, we floated around on the side of the Columbia River. So it was amazing.
There you go. Very good.
He is a super talented young man. So if you're in the market for any unique voiceovers, Devin's your guy. So that's super quick. Super easy to work with. He got it done super quickly. I just told him the feeling that I wanted to create, and he got her done. So it was amazing. All right, great. Tom. Well, thanks for all you do for the up and coming youthful experience to get people to stay with motorsports and everything autosports. So really appreciate what you're doing, and thanks, Brandon, for being live. And Brandon's going to put me to work. Deal, man.
Yeah. Oh, he'll put you to work for sure. And you know, feel free to wear a blue shirt, even though his color is green and black. But feel free to wear the blue shirt. He'll be all right with that.
I will. He'll be okay with that. All right. Well, drop your links in the comments afterwards, Tom, in case people want more information about you and particularly the magazine. And you know, circle back around when you're ready to announce about the platform in the same way that I will when I'm ready to let people come visit my virtual reality store. So we'll see.
Sounds like fun. Thanks for having me on again. I always appreciate it, Bruce, and always happy to be on the show that is always brought to you by the color blue.
That's right. Absolutely. All right. Take care. Bye for now.
God bless. Have a good night.